Hey everybody, Perrin Lovett here, back for the Prepper Post News, courtesy of Freedom Prepper on Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. Hello to everybody listening and watching, wherever that might be. Today's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. Got a few stories and then the feature with our new switched up format. Let's just get right into it. I have things to do. Winter is still lingering around. We've got a few more days left on the calendar, and a big snowstorm over the weekend out in the mountains showed everybody that just because the calendar pages tick by, the weather does what it wants to. So big snow, but I'm sure it's over. Spring is coming to you guys. Spring is already sprung where I am, and summer is right behind it. So according to the news, we've got higher gas prices coming, and that always happens in the summer, but they're talking about $4 a gallon outside of California for reasons that have to do with the economic recovery. Just like we have the longest 2 weeks in human history to flatten an invisible curve, we've got the longest recovering in recovery history. I think we've been recovering since about 2008. Yay. Gas prices going up, lifespans going down all across the USSA. Got a story here, and I've got a list of tables and a map, a cool map from the CDC about the states with the longest and shortest life expectancies. And I believe, according to this map, you want to be in dark green as opposed to one of the other color. Oh, I am not in dark green, but I'm sure you are. And more importantly, don't make the most of the time you have, however long that is. Wallet Hub has a new poll out. They do this every year. They have the happiest and least happy, most depressed cities in the good old USSA. And if you click around, they've got just poll after study after study. They've got the happiest cities, states, best places to raise families, worst places, best business, this and that, and a bunch of usurious garbage because it's a wallet, without money wallet. But take a look at where your city stands. I think they rank the top, the largest 190. I'm my area. Boy, we need help. But anyway, I'm sure you're nice and happy. Speaking of nice and happy, those wonderful people in the alleged Biden administration and all the wonderful Congress critters are working hard to give us more gun control because we don't have enough. I mean, the Second Amendment is like the rest of the Constitution. It's dead and gone. They want background checks. And, of course, they're going to move on to other things. Everybody's getting upset about this, and for some reason, I'm not. And the reason is I can't really openly discuss this, but everybody's afraid of gun confiscation, and the left keeps, taunting about gun confiscation, weapons confiscation. Guess what? That works both ways. That's how underdogs, never mind. Let's see here. Other things not to mind. Lipton Matthews, young conservative writer who's kind of up and coming here, has a great story about the effects of, second or third wave feminism on colleges and universities. And can you guess what that effect was? Just like amendments and nations, schools can be destroyed too. And take a look at that. And when you turn your country over to feminist and wimps and communist, you get things like Neverending Hoaxes and the upsetting of all life. If you have elderly loved ones locked up in some sort of facility, not a prison, but a nursing home, a treatment center, odds are you've been locked out for the past year. And I've got this charming story out of I guess Colorado, wherever this is, doesn't matter. After a year, they're finally going to consider letting these old people have some hugs. The ones that didn't die, from the hoax, from Governor Cuomo, touchy-feely Cuomo, sending highly sick people in. I'm sure some of these people were just outright murdered, but this is a war crime. It's not a hoax. It's a war crime, and I'm gonna kind of at the end. My feature story has a sub feature. What do we do about this crime against humanity? Let's here's more of it. Feminist, queers, and communists laid low, not just the Republic, but all civilization. Here's cancel culture. Take a look at this. It's a National File story that I just caught this one out of the corner of my eye. I don't know why anyone is still on Twitter or Facebook, Bergbook, or any of that garbage. But if you do go on there, you have this, what's her name? Lauren Witzke. Lauren Witzke was thrown off of Twitter for calling somebody demonic. And what did she call demonic? Well, there was this trans vegetable person who said, this guy can stay on. The woman who's called this demonic gets kicked off. This thing stays on. I'm trying not to use appropriate language. The faggot says that the narrative is that transgender people will come into bathrooms and abuse little girls. That's the beginning. The supposed purity of the victims has remained stagnant. There are no princesses. Little girls are also kinky. Your kids aren't as straight and narrow as you think, says this demonic creature. And but if you call him demonic, you get kicked off. He gets to stay on. And if you read what it writes, the narrative is that transgender people will come into bathrooms and abuse little girls. The suggestion, it's almost a subconscious suggestion, is that's what the crazy right-wingers are saying these people are going to do. No, that's not what this says. This is an admission. This is an admission, and this is fire. Just a whole lot of fire. Atomic fire, diesel oil. We just need to fire. Just fire, maybe some scimitars. But that could have been the feature. That was actually in the running to be the feature. But again, what I came up with, and this is the same story over and over. RFK Jr., the Children's Health Defense Fund, came up with more information. I've reported on this before. Event 201, Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and all the other satanic criminals. We just keep learning more and more about this pre-planned war crime. Event 201, back in October of 2019, these people were not only, wargaming a pandemic, but they were also talking about vaccines for the pandemic. They didn't look like an ordinary vaccine. And for some reason, they imagined that some people would be skeptical. Doctors who run, tests and, take a look at the actual vaccine itself under a microscope might be skeptical and say, whoa, wait a minute, this is this is poison, don't take it. They worked on a censorship agenda across all media, including social media, including YouTube. That's why you got your little, Susan Wojcicki warning down there. Not a warning about her that she needs to be deported, but a warning about medical misinformation. It's a war crime. Take a look at this, and they've got links. He's got links. He's got video. We've seen this before. All right, what do we do with these people? And this has come up on the community. About some other things, about how do you prosecute war crimes and treason when the criminals are the ones who run everything? They run, you either have to let God handle it or we have to handle it. And, if there was going to be prosecution, I would suggest it be something after the fact, kind of like the Nuremberg trials. And for this particular crime against humanity, maybe those Nuremberg rules are the way to go. Let's make it retroactive criminal punishment, and let's make the trials more like long sentencing pleas where everybody's guilty. And I don't know of any of these people that like Mr. Gates and the WHO crowd, and that queer that wants to molest your kids. They don't have any rocket scientists, so there's nobody to exempt out, like what's his name. So we're gonna have to handle it. That's the short of it. How do when? I guess when all this shakes out. But like I said, this is a short one, and there were a few things that I left off. It gets tiresome because it's the same thing over and over and over. So let me know about the. Oh, and I forgot to do the begging. Please like the video. Quality will improve tomorrow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel before they ban us, and for God's sake, bookmark freedomprepper.com and join the Freedom Prepper community, because that's where you can always find. Oh, and I should be saying to subscribe to the podcast. I guess you can do that. Spread the news too, because this is information you can find everywhere or other places, but it's not aggregated as readily as it is here. And as soon as I get this format thing down and take care of that mess over there, it'll make more sense, like it did last week and tomorrow, where quality always improves. Let me know what you think about any of this. God bless, and I will be back on Wednesday.